But moving on to our next topic, man, NBA playoffs. I'm rooting for Drew Holiday on this one. I mean, no questions asked. I want the Bucks to win now that the Pelicans are out. I'm tired of people saying that Ja Morant and R.J. Barrett are better than Zion. It's like, dude, get your head out your ass. It's like, come on. We all know what's up. But, Drew Holiday, I'll always root for that guy, man. I'm going to miss Drew Holiday.
Why?
Yeah.
Dude, he's just such a stand-up guy. He's just a small market guy.
I don't know. He did request a trade.
That's what I'm saying. Why are you so loyal to him? He wanted out.
Hey, man, but if I went through all the AD stuff and not re-signing DeMarcus Cousins and I was loyal to the program and I saw like a rebuilding session where eventually he was going to be traded anyway, I mean, I would have been like, I would have requested out too.
You're a big loyalty guy, Sean. I respect that.
I'm loyal to him. I think that AD wearing the "That's All, Folks" shirt, that's rubbing it in people's faces. There's a right way to do it. Chris Paul did it the right way. There's reports of him crying as he was leaving on the plane, from New Orleans. Drew Holiday donates to the city. He's still involved in businesses in the city and stuff like that. AD just got a Ruffles deal and fucked off. So I don't know, man.
I love to see all the past greats from New Orleans being in the playoffs this year. AD, Drew, CP3. A lot of people think he has an MVP discussion. I don't know. I don't watch it that well, but a lot of people are kind of chanting for him for like a dark horse MVP guy.
Well, that's who I want the Suns to win the championship. Mainly because I want them to beat the Lakers because I cannot stand the Lakers. But
I think it's cool that the Lakers have become that team again that everyone hates. Like they're relevant finally again.
That's what they've always been.
I don't think it's cool at all.
Yeah, no, I hate the Lakers. I hope they're forever irrelevant.
Yeah, dude. When they were losing with Lonzo Ball and Brandon Ingram, that was a great couple of years when they were just like one of the worst teams in the league.
Yeah, we just took on their shit.
Yeah, we took the old Lakers, truly.
Well, I think we're getting rid of Lonzo soon anyway. So.
No, he's coming back. I guarantee it.
Oh, Josh, screw off.
He's coming back.
Oh my God!
He's in the city.
He's good.
I just think he
wants to be in the city.
He just doesn't fit with Point Zion, man.
He doesn't.
I'm not arguing that he should be back. I just think he's going to end up being back.
Because he's Zion's friend, huh? I think that's going to be kind of the same thing too.
No, because it's the Pelicans. It's the Pelicans. It's New Orleans sports. They're not going to make the right move.
That is so fucking true.
I don't know, dude. I'm positive. I think that we're going to make a huge move this offseason. I think we're going to go after like Brogdon or somebody else that can space the floor.
Brogdon isn't a huge move.
It's better than Lonzo Ball. I mean,
Yeah.
at least he can shoot off the ball threes. And imagine how many open threes he'll get with Zion driving the paint. If he can consistently knock those down, I mean, we got something special on our hands. He doesn't need to go off.
They've always been missing. There's that shooter.
Great 3-point shooters come to die in New Orleans. Look at JJ Redick.
They
You remember
do.
how
Why?
old
Yeah.
he was? He was one of the best, and then we got him, and he was just like, "I'm good with the 3-ball."
We'll get
start a
Brogdon.
podcast. That's what he said. I'm gonna start a podcast.
We'll get Brogdon, and then he'll suck. It's just who we are. We are the worst run organization in the history of professional sports.
I don't know
That is
about
why-
that. I don't know about the worst run, dude. We to our
We're
credit,
top five. Top five.
Dude,
I mean, it's bad.
I don't think so, because to our credit, we always somehow get the next guy. You know what I mean? Like there are organizations
Yeah, but we
that have
can't
gone.
do anything when we get them. They fall into our hands.
Hey, look, I agree with you, but like, dude, some places can't even get that first step. You know what I mean? Like the
I know,
Charlotte
but
Bobcats.
It's not impressive when it falls into our hands because we suck.
We get lucky and win the lottery because we're terrible, and then we get the next
suck.
thing, and we can't do anything with them, and then that player.
That shows how bad we are.
Do we just not have the money to do it, or
No, it's
how
the
does
money,
that
the
work?
desire. I don't know what it is. They just make a big splash ever.
Dude, I think that we try to make these moves. I mean, like DeMarcus Cousins was a good example. Who would have thought that dude would come in and tear his Achilles like that? I mean, we've also had a lot of bad luck associated with this too. I mean, Omer Asik was killing it in Houston when we traded for him. He gets to us, and then he turns into this like ugly little giraffe out there that's sickly and dying. You know what I mean? It's just like we have bad luck associated with it. I think we make the right moves, we just can't pan out.
This I will say, David Griffin made some terrible moves this last year. It's just he doesn't know what he wants to do. It's like, all right, do you want to roll with the young guys and develop them, or do you want to get veteran people? He needs to pick one.
Okay, but think about this. Normally, an off season is, I imagine, somewhere between 3 and 4 months. Somewhere, if I had to guess, it's somewhere around there. He had a month last season. Free agency and this trade window period was like 2 weeks long. Okay, so he went in there and Drew requested a trade when the season ends. All right, he's got a couple weeks. He's got like 2 weeks in between. Then he's got another 2 weeks. That's the trade period. So he's got to set a market. He's got to find out what he wants. He's got to find a new head coach to do it. So like he's got all this stuff going on. I think you're right. I think he didn't know what he wanted, but he also didn't have a choice. I mean, Stan Van Gundy didn't get in the building until 2 weeks before the season started. So like, usually you would include a coach in that discussion, and he just didn't even have one. Maybe he fired Gentry at the wrong time, but I don't know if Stan Van Gundy's any better than him.
It's self-imposed. They do it to themselves. Like, you put yourself on this time crunch because they wait till the last minute to make decisions on coaching.
Like, dude, did you see what the Nets?
That's a good point.
Did you see what the Rockets got for James Harden? Why didn't we get involved in that James Harden thing? We had the assets to go get James. Why didn't we?
They don't. First of all, I think that they just they have this attitude that they can roll with the underdogs, and that the big names don't want to come to New Orleans, and that's fine. We can win with what we got.
But I think we have to have that.
They do the same thing in football.
But that organization and that kind of structure that's being brought to the Pelicans with David Griffin. I mean, we had Rita Benson when Tom died. She took that team over at Dell Demps. And the decision makers that were involved in that, I believe they got Mickey Loomis involved in the organization to help at the end of the Dell Demps era when they fired him, and then they hired David Griffin. So what that tells me is that Mickey Loomis, a very smart man who knows, at least organizational stuff. He may not know basketball itself, but he knows the organization side of the business as well as anybody. I think he's putting a lot of faith in David Griffin, and from what I've seen from him, David Griffin sounds like a smart guy. I think he is the guy to fix all those problems.
He sounds like a smart guy. I think he's a freaking used car salesman, dude. He's kept on everything, but the results speak for themselves. He just hasn't done anything good so far.
But think about his first 2 years in the organization. His first year is the Anthony Davis trade, and he has to negotiate with Anthony Davis and start the Zion era. Okay, so he put together that team for a year, came back, and then the next year is COVID. You know what I mean? Zion's first season's COVID. He plays 17 games, and then he plays a little bit in the little bubble basketball, which it's nothing compared to real playoff basketball with the fans involved and stuff like that. So this is kind of his first year coming off of that short off season. I just think that we need to let him have a couple of years before we can say definitively that he's as bad as Dell Demps, because that dude is bad. That dude is bad.
This the whole policy of have a couple years, in general, I just don't think the Pelicans are in a position to be able to do that. I mean, they're going to sell the team.
They're going to sell the team. Zion's going to request a trade. We don't have a couple years.
We're going to lose the franchise and the franchise player by just sitting back on our ass and waiting for David Griffin to figure it out.
But I mean, I
think it's past us not being a desirable place to go. I know There's not like a huge basketball culture here. But there have to be some veteran guys in the league seeing the potential the team has and guys that would want to come play with us. Who wouldn't want to play with Zion?
They want Zion, they just don't want to do it here.
They want Zion to come play for them.
Yes.
And look, dude, I think that just, New Orleans isn't a desirable market, and we need a few years to make trades and to make we got assets from those deals. We got tons of assets, but you have to give the organization.
I don't think Milwaukee's a more desirable place to go than New Orleans. I'd rather live in New Orleans than fucking Milwaukee.
Yeah. I think that's a great point. That Milwaukee can do it because they have Giannis, and I think that we can do it if we have Zion. You know what I mean? Zion's not going to leave for 6 years. Zion's not going to leave for 6 years because of the contracts and the way that he's going to get his supermax. He's going to sign that extension. So we've still got 4 to 5 years before he signs the second extension.
He's
so
not gonna,
we have a couple years.
I don't see how he stays from anything past 2 years.
It's because of the contracts. He can get way
a
more
supermax somewhere else.
Not as much with the Pelicans though. See, that's called the Rose Rule. And if he makes a certain amount of All-Star games, or if there's certain accolades that qualify you for this, but it allows the team that drafted you to offer you way more money than anyone else can offer. I think it's like 20. It's like $5 million a year more, a total of like $40 million over 4 years or something like that. I mean, it's a ridiculous amount of money. So he's not going to leave until after that.
No,
I think he will.
What if he just signs the contract, right? He signs it, and then he just requests a trade later that year because we suck. That's what AD did.
Exactly. He saw what AD went through. He's not going to want to do the same thing. He saw AD sign the supermax contract and the extension and wait for us to catch up, and it just never happened. He's not going to want his career wasted.
AD left in his 5th year with the Pelicans. Okay, so he went through he had the first supermax extension, and then the second one. The rules are a little different. That was the second supermax contract that Anthony Davis signed. The first one, he signed and then stayed 2 years. No, I'm positive. I'm right about this. I'm definitely right about this.
He never signed a second extension. He did his rookie contract, then he signed his supermax. Year 2 of his supermax, he left.
No, he didn't, because he re-signed with the Lakers the year he got there. He signed an extension the year he got there.
That was his second big contract in the NBA.
I don't think that's right, but I'll trust you on this one. I'll trust you on this one then. But I think that as a fan base, we have to protect the Pelicans from themselves. One of the things that the fans do a lot is they put a lot of pressure on this organization to make moves too quickly, and then we go get Omer Ashiks. We have to wait till the market's right. I mean, name a superstar that wants out of their team. I'll wait. You can't really.
DJ McCullough. I mean, if you pay them enough, they'll want out.
But that's the thing, though, is that you have to get them here to do that, and there has to be a market for them. There's no market for anybody right now. Who are we going to go buy? We can go buy Brogdon because he's kind of a patchwork to get us winning. But I mean, so what's my question would be, what's y'all's solution for this year?
Damian Lillard.
Well, I don't see him leaving. He loves Portland. That's a dream pick right there. But
God, I wish he would leave. That's one of those guys that I think desperately wants to win, and it would be so nice to get a guy like that in with Zion. A guy experienced, who's cold as fuck, that wants to win and is desperate for a title.
I mean, you just got to try. David Griffin has to be on the phone constantly this summer, just gouging.
They need to make every single one of these guys tell them, no, fuck off.
Yes.
I'm saying, what's the shame?
Yes, they just stay on the phone, call everyone, gouge interest in every superstar there is. It's time to stop fucking around.
We don't have time to wait. That's my whole thing, Sean. I understand there's value in sitting and waiting, and I think it would help, but I just don't think the actual team itself is going to last if we do that.
And then I think
that was the job that should have been done 10 years ago.
And look, I think that there's an element of truth to that. I don't think that you're entirely wrong saying that. But my question to you is, what's the move? You know what I mean? Everyone says that we need to make this big move, this big splash, but what is it? And and if we can't do that, then that's going to be an issue.
No, listen, I just want David Griffin to say, look, I tried to get anyone and any superstar I could. I just want to know that he's trying.
I think that he is, but I mean, I think there's also an element of truth to that. One thing that always frustrates me is that David Griffin only sounds smart after something bad happens. He's not a very proactive person when it comes to the media. And I think a lot of GMs are like that because they don't want to release too much and stuff like that. But you only really hear from David Griffin either when he's calling out the league, which I love, that's a whole different topic, or when he's basically apologizing or justifying a bad move. So I think that is an issue. Or he's telling people to leave Zion alone, one of the two.
I'd rather us be shamelessly trying to get dudes than behind those doors just sucking ass.
I agree. We're at the point where we have no reason to have pride. There's no reason to have too much pride to throw around money at these guys and make them tell us no. We don't have the pedigree to sit back and say, we're the Lakers, come sign here.